4 strategies for leader managers to strengthen their job security by getting their teams to consistently perform excellently. Dr. W. Vernon Murray will be your presenter for this masterclass. The class will be presented in 4 sections, and at the end there will be a short evaluation, where you can give Dr. Murray some feedback on this class. There will also be a short quiz which will allow you to get your certificate for this class. Now here is Dr. Murray.
All right. Welcome to this class, 4 strategies for leader managers to protect, strengthen their job security by getting their teams to consistently perform excellently. I was really looking for a way to shorten the topic and title for this masterclass, but I really couldn't find a way to make the title shorter and still capture the essence of what we're going to discuss in this masterclass, right? 4 leadership management hacks to help leaders and managers protect, strengthen their job security by getting their teams to perform excellently, consistently. All right. So in this course, I will give you a toolkit of leadership and management tools to protect and strengthen your job security as a leader manager. Now, notice I'm saying leader manager as opposed to saying as a leader or manager. And that's because in my paradigm on leadership and management are inextricably bound together. You can't separate leadership functions from management functions. In some paradigms, leadership is separated from management, and leadership is given a more loftier, nobler, big picture view, and management is more transactional, more mundane. But the truth of the matter is, in my paradigm and the way in my perspective, is that you can't lead people without managing them, and you can't manage people without leading them. They really go like hand in glove. And so this masterclass will talk about how leader managers could implement some of these tools that I'm going to teach to ensure, protect, strengthen their job security by getting their teams to consistently perform excellently. So the premise here is that team performance, your staff's performance, has some correlation to your job security, right? We all know that as a leader manager, you are only as good as your team or your staff. Your performance as a leader manager is measured by the performance of your team or your staff. Everybody pretty much understands, particularly leader managers, that your performance as a leader manager is based and evaluated on the performance of your team, your staff, the people that you manage. They perform well, it looks good on you, right? It makes you look good. They perform poorly, you could get fired. I mean, it's a crappy deal when you think about it, but the mandate of leader managers, the leader manager mandate is to drive performance in other people. Now, in professional sports, for example, there have been several instances of retired players, great players, Hall of Fame players who've gone into coaching, right? And it doesn't matter the level of their personal success. They could have been the best three-point shooter in history or lead the league in whatever. It doesn't matter the level of personal performance that a leader manager has executed. If they cannot get their team, their staff to perform at a high level consistently, and excellently all the time. Well, maybe not all the time, but most of the time, right? All right. So this class is going to talk about some tools that you can use as a leader manager to drive the performance of your team, thereby ensuring your job security. We're going to look at four strategies. Four strategies you could start implementing right away. The minute you end this class and take the quiz at the end. Are you going to leave now that there's a quiz? No, okay. All right. But the minute you end this, you end this class, take the quiz, you could start implementing each of these four strategies right away. Tomorrow morning, when you go back to the office, you could start putting some of these strategies in place. And just in case you need more convincing that there is a significant correlation between team performance and leader manager job security, let's talk about the Atlanta Hawks. This season, the Atlanta Hawks started off terrible. I mean, they were losing, seemed like almost every game. Management got tired of losing. The fans got tired of losing. And so the management of the Atlanta Hawks fired the head coach. He's a nice guy, real good coach, but the team was losing. Team performance sucked, right? The coach, who is the leader manager, got fired. The assistant head coach gets promoted to the interim head coach position. This was mid-season, in the middle of the season. From that point on, with the interim head coach in place, the Atlanta Hawks, the same lousy losing team from the first half of the season, had in the second half of the season, had the winningest record in the NBA. Same team, same players, same opposition. First half, lousy. Second half, winningest record. And the difference? The leader manager. That's the coach. The first coach couldn't get the team to perform at high levels. He lost his job. His job security went down the drain. The assistant coach, his job security kind of went up. Now he's been promoted to interim head coach, and word is that he will be given the head coach full-time position, which probably comes with a couple extra $1 million in salary, right? So the level of job security is clearly illustrated by the lousy performance of a team that got the head coach fired. Now, you've probably, in your favorite team, you've probably seen this play out, right, in the world of sports. Also in college sports, right, where head coaches get fired because the team's not doing well. New coach comes in, takes the same team essentially, and does extremely well. This also happens in the world of business and organizational leadership, right? So there is a direct, significant correlation between your job security as a leader manager / business owner, entrepreneur, and your team performance. Well, so you say, well, business owner, my job security is dependent on me, right? I mean, nobody's going to fire me. I own the business. Let me explain. If your team is performing lousy, productivity is down, profitability is down, your business that you own is not going to compete in the marketplace. If your team continues underperforming and you're losing your ability to compete in your market space, you wouldn't have to fire yourself. Your business is going to go out of business and you will lose your job, your ownership. In this case, the marketplace is your boss, so to speak. And your boss is unforgiving. Consumers are unforgiving. If your product or service is at a significantly lower quality than the rest of the marketplace, you wouldn't have to fire yourself. The marketplace will fire you. Again, team performance, job security, a clear, distinct, significant relationship. So in this class, what I'm going to give you is four strategies to help ensure, protect, strengthen your job security by getting your team to perform excellently, consistently, or consistently, excellently, whichever way you want to go on that, right? Bottom line is, if you could get your team to perform well consistently, then you have a higher level of job security. And if you cannot get your team to perform at a high level consistently, then your job security is on shaky ground. Okay? So, what are these four strategies? What are these four strategies that can help you strengthen your job security by making your teams perform consistently and excellently? Well, these strategies are part of a broader, larger leadership strategy that I call building strong teams that overperform and make you look good, right? Because at the bottom, I mean, it may sound kind of selfish and it may sound sort of arrogant, but the truth of the matter is, if your teams perform well, you, the leader manager, looks good. And your job security is at a high level. On the other hand, if your team underperforms, eventually it's a reflection on you. You look bad, and your job security is on shaky ground. So, this leadership strategy is how to build strong teams that overperform and make you look good. It makes sense to me, right? And in this strategy, there are four building blocks of this strategy, this overall strategy. And those are the four building blocks that I'm going to outline for you in this masterclass today. So what are the four strategies, the four building blocks? One, improving intentional collaboration among your team members. As a leader manager, you've got to improve the intentional collaboration among your team members. In section 3, I believe, of this class, I'm going to give you 3 techniques, 3 tools that you can use right away to improve intentional collaboration. So, intentional collaboration, building block number 1, to strengthen job security by driving team performance. Strategy number 2 is that you've got to understand and operationalize the four R's of your leadership ecosystem. Again, we'll talk later on about what are the 4 R's and how do you operationalize them. What is your leadership ecosystem? Do you know what your leadership ecosystem is? If you don't grasp this, if you don't get a handle on this, like the top 3% leaders do, the really effective leaders, the top 3%ers, they know their leadership ecosystem and they know the 4 R's, and they know it just cold like that. And without a full understanding of the 4 R's of your leadership ecosystem, you're not going to be able to drive excellent, consistent team performance, and your job security will be on shaky ground. So that's building block strategy number 2. Strategy number 4 is you've got to be able to create powerful, mobilizing team agendas, a team agenda that moves your team forward. Again, how do you create a team agenda? I'm going to give you 3 techniques, 3 ways to create a team agenda starting tomorrow, when you go back to the office. All right. So building block strategy number 4 to strengthen your job security is creating a strong team brand that would boost team performance. Again, I'm going to give you in section 3 of this class 2 team branding techniques that will absolutely boost team performance. So those are the 4 strategies, the 4 building blocks that will strengthen and boost your job security, because these 4 building blocks gets your team to perform excellently, consistently, or consistently excellently. I guess it works both ways, right? So let's dive in. And we're going to start with a brief discussion and definition of team. What does team mean? And in this definition, I will highlight the 4 building block strategies, right? So the definition incorporates or includes a discussion of each of the 4 building blocks and kind of tells you why that building block is essential to building a team that overperforms and a team that makes you look good. So here we go. Let's dive into the section 2 of this masterclass.